Welcome back for week 3 of the XRS Racing Series. This week we go to Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. Tonight, a lot of racers here tonight with 18 in total. Last week's winner, Vanquish, is here as well. He set the fastest lap in both practice and will be on pole tonight with a 44.133. Tonight we're expecting very good racing. It's a very short track, Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, only being 1.2 miles. Track itself opened up in 1950, but the Indy Circuit was only opened in 2003, at least the current version of it. Only 6 corners to this track, so it's a very short track. We're calling these the short road courses, if I'm not mistaken. Sort of a new section of it. First time XRS has ever been to Brands Hatch, at least for the Indy Circuit. So no driver really has an advantage over experience. It's just what practice they did over the season and off season. We're looking forward to tonight's race. 140 laps in total. Obviously 141 it says there in the bottom left. That's because of a pace lap. Cautions are usual as always. 1 car damage, 2 cars spin. Rules for road courses are, as always, are no runoffs are allowed, but there are none here, as well as no shortcutting. You can go as wide as you want, which usually here means you're going into the grass or sand. So if you go wide, then that's just not taking the correct line. But Indy Circuit at Brands Hatch is a very unique track. It's a very short track. Any mistakes could lead to loss of time, and big time at that. Let's go into the keys of this track. The keys of this track are being very gentle on your braking. Most corners here, you barely even have to brake, if at all, brake for. It's only about maybe 2 or 3 corners on this track that you have to actually brake for. Secondly, you need to have great throttle control, especially coming out of that final corner, corner 6, because that will be where you can get your most runoffs, most speed going down the front straight. Thirdly, don't be afraid to get on the gas. If you hesitate to get on the gas, you'll be losing time, especially, like we said, in turn 6. As well as, you need to not overdrive corner 3. Corner 3 will be where we see cars go off the most. Most cars go off with 2 wheels into that sand trap. You'll see it in the race. As of right now, everyone's getting lined up. Will be Vanquish on pole tonight, like I said, with a 44.133, that being the fastest in both practice and qualifying of the night. 6 rookies in the field tonight, as of right now. That leaves the rest of the field with 12 other cars not being rookies. But we'll see where everyone's lined up. Like I said, first time XRS has come to this circuit. This is the second road course of the year. Obviously, last week was the first, and it's also the second road course out of America. Yet again, same thing with last week being the first one. Location of this track is West Kingston, Longfield, United Kingdom, or UK, just outside of London. So, first time we will be in London this year for XRS. We should be getting ready to go here any second. In the field tonight, we have Culture in the number 1, Panda in the number 15, Cart in the number 21, Hawk in the number 99, Off-Road in the number 8, Oracle in the number 10, Vanquish in the number 15T, MVP in the number 54, Cam in the number 81, Foxy in the number 48, Smokey in the number 3, Tython in the number 11, SSR in the number 84, FM in the number 20, Grimmer in the number 34, and Wooly in the number 01. Cars we're going to be looking at tonight are MVP, Vanquish, and Cart, some of the faster guys in the group, obviously, as well as Hawk. In practice, Vanquish, MVP, and Hawk were all in the top 3. As you see, they're in the top 3 for the race as well. So your grid, once we get loaded in here, we'll go to the grid. Cars will not be moving until the grid is complete. So don't worry about me not having enough time. As we load in, cars get lined up and ready. Obviously, as we always hope for, we don't hope for any lag outs. So, like I said, pole position tonight goes to Vanquish in the number 15 car. In second place, we find MVP in the number 54 machine. Just behind him, the number 99 of Hawk. Beside him will be SSR in the number excuse me, in the number 84 machine. Just behind him, we have Off-Road in the number 8 machine. Behind him, we find Kart Racer, number 21 car. Behind him, we find Willie Mixer, an unfortunate lag out last week. He's hoping to redeem that for this week. He'll be driving the number 01 tonight. Just behind him, the number 10 car of Oracle. Behind that, we have JDM Culture in 9th place in the number 1 car. To round out the top 10, we have Panda in a number 15 machine. In 11th place, we find Edwards in the number 77. Behind him, we have FM in the number 20. Cam in the number 81 for 13th place. 14th, we find Smokey in the number 3. 15th, we find Foxy in the number 48. In 16th, we find Tyson in the number 11 car. He'll be looking up to make grounds tonight. In 17th place, we have Grimmer in number 34. He's one of the rookies for tonight. And rounding out the field, we do have D-Dog in the number 71 car. So we'll give the signal for the cars to get rolling, and we'll get on with the pace lap. So Vanquish tonight, obviously last week's winner. Very dominant performance by him last week. He'll be looking to repeat it this week. As the cars all get rolling, they'll be doing their pace lap. You can see the track configuration in the bottom left side. So the corner I was talking about, once we get up to it, this corner number 3 will be is about the tightest corner on the track. You can go through it relatively fast, but the only problem is the faster you go, there's a giant sand trap right there. Most cars put at least 2 wheels off, but if you put 4 off, you will lose a ton of time. This track was originally built, the Indy circuit course was originally built for Formula 4 cars. It's now hosting Formula 3 races. Originally constructed for Formula 3, now hosts Formula 3 and 4 races. Brands Hatch itself Brands Hatch as an entire, not just the Indy circuit, used to host F1 races, but now on tonight it hosts an XRS series race. The first one that any of these drivers are going into. So MVP will be on the inside for the restart. He will have control. As always, the leader has control past once he hits pit lane, which you see right there. He has control and he can go at any point from here to the line. And green flag is out. Green flag is out. Vanquish with a great start. MVP couldn't really get much working, unfortunately. So far, fairly clean. Some good racing in the back. We'll go back with riding along 7th place with Kart. A battle with 4 different cars right now. Off-road will look on the inside of Willie Mixer. There'll be a little bit of contact. Willie will go wide. This is the corner I was talking about, corner 3. And we have one spinning in the back, number 48. Foxy, first spin of the night, number 48. Doesn't look like he has too much damage. He should be able to keep going without having to go into the pits. We'll go back up. When he locks up, he's going to go wide now in the last corner, corner number 6. We'll ride along with Off-Road now. Giant lockup behind them. Car potentially going around. I think that might have been... Yes, it was. Oracle went really wide. Cam kept it together. He kept it straight. Going through corner 2 now. Some very nice racing so far early on. Edwards puts all 4 tires into it. 2 cars very wide. I believe that was Grimmer and potentially Smokey, but I could be wrong. Watching D-Dog now. You can see this corner, because of its elevation, it goes up and then right back down. You have to be very cautious on your throttle. You can gun it about halfway through, but you have to be very cautious. We're now right along with Cart in 7th place, who's battling for 6th. He's going to dive it on the inside of off-road. He'll take the spot. Cart will move up to 6th place now. He's on the back of Wooly. He's going to look to take that. Some very, very, very great racing so far early on. Off-road trying to find how he can get it by. Og locks up. He hits Panda. We'll go down the back, or sorry, the front stretch on the lap number 5. We're using all of the track. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, you can extend the track as much as you need, but you cannot cut it. So basically, you cannot cut corners. Right now, we have Panda battling Cam for a 10th place. Panda locks up. He'll go really wide. He'll lose a lot of time. Cam will go right on by. Willie Mixon now being challenged by Cart for 5th place. We've seen it coming into that corner before Panda locked up. Cart looking to the inside. Will he dive bomb it? No, but he's going to go on the inside. Side by side coming out of turns 2. A little bit of contact, but nothing much. Well, he's going to dive it in and put 2 tires under. Oh, one car really wide back there. Edwards really wide. He'll lose, I think, 2 positions out of that. Cam will capitalize yet again on somebody making a mistake. Oh, another car off. It's Hawk. Hawk was running really well. Might have had contact with Smokey because Smokey's very far off. Smokey may have damage. He's going into pit. Right along with 4th place. Oh, Foxy's spinning in front of cars. Foxy will be the first lap car of this race. Cart has fallen back. Or sorry, not Cart. No, Cart's fallen back. Where's Cart gone? Let's see. Cart may have lagged out. We'll have to check when the leaderboards scroll by, but I think Cart has lagged out, which is very unfortunate. He was running really well in the top, challenging for the top 5, and almost got past Wooly. And caution will come out for the first time tonight on lap number 7. So we have the first caution of tonight. So let's go through the caution rules. Obviously, like I said, it has to be 1 car damage or 2 car spin. And it has to be a full spin. Obviously, it can't just be sideways and then catching it. But I think it would have came out for Smokey if he had damage, which he might have, and that's why we might have a caution right now. But there are caution intervals, which I believe are 3 laps. So we cannot have another caution. We'll go around once more for pits, because right now this is everyone catching up. So we'll restart on lap number 10. So we could not have another caution until lap number 13. So if you spin on lap 12, unfortunate. If you spin on lap 13, you'll get a caution. We'll see multiple cars come in. Top 3 will go in. Vanquish will clip the tires. Vanquish, MVP, and SSR. Top 3 all went in to the pits. Fall behind them is Cam, Edwards, Oracle, FM, Grimmer, Typhon, and that would be all of them. So as they cycle out, first place will now be Willie Mixer. Obviously, he was running top 5 before the caution came out. To his outside, we'll have Off-Road in 2nd place. In 2nd row on the inside, we'll have Panda. We will have Culture. On Culture's outside, for 4th place, we'll have Panda. Behind them on the inside will be D-Dog. Smokey trying to get his lap back. Obviously, we have a couple lap cars due to some wrecks on track. Vanquish, obviously one of the racers that is looking to win it tonight and go back-to-back weeks, 2 in a row. He'll be starting on the outside of the third row in 6th place. He was the first car to come down into pits. He was leading before the caution. So we'll see if the new tires or old tires will work. I think we'll go around once more, just because obviously you can see we have a few stragglers. We'll go around once more. Big gain here by Cam. If we look, Cam's starting in 9th place. He had a great pit stop. SSR actually had a really good pit stop too. He's actually in front of Vanquish. But I don't know if he's supposed to be there. I can't quite tell. It looks like he will. So actually, Vanquish will start 7th. So he'll start on the outside row of the 4th. Outside of the 4th row. So SSR and Cam are having really good pit stops. We'll be going green this time, I would imagine. Around turn number 6. As always, leader has control. In this case, it's Wooly, so you can go from anywhere from pit wall all the way to the start-finish line. Let's see where he chooses. Green is out. Green, green, green. Wooly with a good start. Off-road got a little bit slow. One very loose already. 3, 4, 5 wide. Culture's around. Very unfortunate for him. Stack up again. 3 wide coming to this corner. 48 turns. Number 10. That's Oracle. Oracle will keep it straight, though. Oh, to go really wide. SSR and Edwards. Multiple drivers either very wide or off. Oracle and SSR, I think, may have tagged each other. Very bad start for SSR. Very unfortunate. Caught up in two incidences. Foxy will take Tyson. Foxy very loose through turn 6. SSR was on the outside row. Third row on the outside. Oh, Foxy just takes out Culture. Don't know if it was purposeful or not. And Smokey's around. Multiple cautions, but multiple incidents on track. Like I said, caution intervals do exist. I think lap 13, maybe 14 will be where cautions will be turned back on. Let's go back up to 6th place. There's Cam. Cam has gained 3 positions since the start. Oh, we got a lock up in front of him. One going wide. It's D-Dog, and he'll come right in front. Vanquish, nowhere to go. Can't stop in time. D-Dog will go back off due to the contact. Smokey is stopped on the inside. Vanquish has gained, I believe, 2 spots since this restart. Vanquish looking to get back up to that lead. He's one guy that we were looking at tonight coming in that would be a strong driver. Obviously, Vanquish with not only the best practice lap, but also the pole of the race. That pole was with a 44.133 fastest of any session, practice and qualifying. He now moves up to the 4th spot in front of Panda. Well, right along with Vanquish. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth are all within about a second and a half of each other. So very tight racing. Actually, within half a second of each other, pardon me. Vanquish will look to get behind Hawk. He's looking to go back-to-back. Obviously, last week, winning the races there. Looking to win Brands Hatch this week, as we have a car go very far off. I think they are parking it. Or they've just gone off and they're just waiting for traffic to clear up. Side by side now with Hawk is Vanquish. He'll go on the outside. He'll try and take third place. Hawk's going to give him very little room to work with. And he'll get squeezed out. Go back down to the fourth. Great move by Hawk there to keep Vanquish at bay for the time being. Vanquish now re-attack on the outside. Will he cut it back in and try and do a crossover? He'll try it, but he'll only get side by side. Still really good racing between these two right now. Vanquish just ahead, but half a car length ahead. Coming into turn one. He'll clear him now, and now he's on to Wooly, but he has to still defend against Hawk. Hawk will look on the inside. Let's see if he'll dive bomb in turn one. He will get to the inside of Vanquish. Diamond is loose in turn two. Side by side for just about a lap now, as we have somebody either leave or lag out. We'll have to see who it is when the scoreboard goes back around. Wooly misses the corner. He'll go wide, way wide. The 48 spins. Wooly will lose 2 spots there. The 48. Far off. MVP with a huge lead because of this. Vanquish gets past Hawk, though. Vanquish has cleared Hawk for second place. Now he's going to put his sights on MVP for first place. That's the gap right there. You see MVP going to turn number 2. Here's the gap. There it is. MVP out in front, just ahead of off-road. Turn number 3. This is the one that I keep saying. Everyone will put probably 2 tires off almost every corner there. But you just don't want to overdrive it more than you need to. We'll go back in the pack where there's an incident on track with Foxy, 16th place, number 48. Not having a great start so far. Involved in 3 or 4 incidents at this point. We'll now ride back up along with Typhon in 10th place, who's battling with Oracle for 11th. Obviously, these two running the same scheme tonight, as they are a part of a team. We'll now ride up with 9th place. Actually, 8th place, D-Dog, if you remember, went really wide. It was very unfortunate. He's battling with SSR. Both have lost a lot of spots since the last restart. SSR more than D-Dog. SSR has made a great amount of work. Off the restart, he fell down to 13th from, I believe, 5th. So he lost about 7 spots, 8 spots. And has to now try and redo it. Diamond will go into pits. But two cars running into pits there. We'll now go check up on the battle between Vanquish and MVP. We'll show you the gap between first and second. Coming onto the front stretch here, we'll be able to get a good angle of it. And here's the gap. There's the gap. Right there. Turn 1. 14th on back is already laps down. 2 DNFs so far. 1 with lag. And I believe Smokey did just park it for the rest of the night. But very unfortunate for Cart. If you remember, Cart was running up top. In the almost top 5, he was battling for 5th place for multiple laps, but unfortunately did lag out early on. Unfortunate for him. Somebody who is, though, looking to be completing a streak and being the most consistent is Hawk. If Hawk gets a podium this week, he has had a podium for the first 3 weeks. Every week he would have had a podium. I believe he would also have finished 3rd place in every race if he stays where he is right now. So, just a little interesting fact there. Fortunately, though, we are down to 16 of the 18 original cars. That gap has closed a lot between MVP and Vanquish. We're actually right along with Vanquish right now to show you that gap. You can see Vanquish not very far behind. We'll get another good picture off the front straight here. There it is. There's the gap. We'll now go back. Oh, we have one car off. Edwards, 7th place. Very slow on track. I think he might have gone a little wide. Unfortunate for him. Luckily, though, we're only on lap number 22. So there's still a very long way to go. We're not even a quarter of the way through the race. So he'll have plenty of time to make up that mistake. We'll now move along to we'll move on to 5th place with Wooly, who's made up 1 position since that mistake when he was in 4th place. Just a couple laps ago, he's now battling Cam for 4th place. He'll now look on the inside. He'll dive it in. Crossover move, but can Cam do it right back? He'll get to the door. Wooly will clear him. Maybe not. Yes, he will. Wooly will move into 4th, but he'll have to defend coming into turns 1. Cam's going to send it in. Contact is made. Cam is sliding, but he saves it. Panda's sliding. We have another car slow on track, just in front of the leaders. 16th place. Foxy in front of the leaders. We'll now show you the battle between 1st and 2nd. There it is. That's the difference. Vanquish has made up a lot of ground on MVP. Not as much as he did a couple laps ago, but he's still making a fair bit of ground. Oh, and he's made a mistake. Vanquish has made a mistake. He's gone wide. He just lost a lot of ground there. He's down about a quarter of a second now to the leader, give or take. Move now back up to 7th place with SSR, who's currently trying to hold off 8th place and 9th place. Those being Og and D-Dog. You see 6th place Panda just in front of them. So far, a very action-filled first, not even first quarter, first, bit of the race. Well, if a car going to pits now, that'll be Foxy again. I believe this is his 2nd or 3rd time pitting, as we have a car off. Off in turns 2. We'll try to see who that is. It is 14th place off-road. No, we have another car off. Sorry, it wasn't. It was Tython. Sorry. Tython waiting for traffic to clear. Obviously, an unspoken rule. Don't come out in front of cars. So, unfortunately, he will lose a lot of spots, but I'm sure people will appreciate that instead of coming out in front of people. Another car off on the front stretch. It's Grimmer. He'll also have to wait, and he'll stay high. Oh, he almost came down on Cam, but quickly turned back up. Another car off. I think Tython has actually parked it. Yes, he has. You can see it parked there. He's parked it for the night. But the battle for first has tightened up yet again. Battle for first to tighten up again. About 2 car lengths separate 1st and 2nd. As they come into turn 1, will Vanquish dive it? Little bit, but wasn't quite enough. He closes up to about half a car length. We'll go into turns 3. Will anyone overdrive it? Nope, they do about the same thing. Like I said, 2 tires off. Coming into the final corner. This is corner 5. Now 6. Here is 6. Coming down the front stretch. Does Vanquish have more? Does MVP have more? Obviously, MVP and Vanquish, both rookies. So these are technically your top 2 rookies tonight so far. Vanquish now looks on the inside of MVP. Oracle slowed in front of them. He'll go high to get out of the leader's way. Obviously, a battle for the lead. Vanquish on the inside, a little bit of contact. Coming down into turn 3 now. MVP on the inside. He's a nose ahead, and Vanquish goes wide. Can MVP clear him because of that mistake? Let's see. Yes, he will. No, they touch the leaders. They wreck. MVP saves it faster. Back on track. This is reminding me of Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson at the Roval. MVP will go first. Vanquish with damage or wanting to pit. So that will give MVP the lead. Will caution come out though? We'll have to see. I don't believe it has. It does not appear that caution has come out. We'll check MVP's fuel actually while we're here. 63% fuel, so he's still good on fuel for right now. Obviously, MVP was one of the 3 that pit during the caution. But now there's a huge pack forming. You can see right there where I'm highlighting from about 3rd on back, and we have another car off just in front of them. I believe that might have, I can't quite get who that was. 13th place FM. Number 20 machine goes off. Edwards goes really wide in 8th place. Number 77 car. He'll go real wide. So we'll go back up. 3-car battle up ahead between 5th, 4th, and 3rd. So we'll watch this race. Wooly will lead behind them. SSR behind them. And we'll go into turns 4 and 5 there. Now into 6. Down the front stretch, Wooly will have it, but Cam's trying to defend against SSR right now. We'll come into the first corner. Will anyone overdrive it? Does not appear so. Coming into turns number 2 now. Little lockup, but nothing big. We'll see how far back. Vanquish has fallen. Vanquish has fallen to 9th off that pit. Battling now Edwards for 8th. Let's see if he can get around him. On the outside, puts a fair bit of tires into that sand trap, but it doesn't look like it affected him too much. Will Vanquish try and do a crossover here? He'll look on the inside. Has his bumper there. Can he get the better run out of this corner? He will. Edwards gets loose. He's in the sand trap. That's unfortunate. Vanquish now take over 8th over Edwards. And we have a car off in turn 1. It is Panda. 6th place. I believe he did fall back for that, but we have a battle up ahead of him. Oh, car way off. Way off. 5th SSR. Or not SSR, Wooly. Obviously, Wooly was 3rd place. He was leading that pack of 3 of Wooly, SSR, and Cam, sorry. But now he'll fall back. He'll lose those 2 positions, and now Panda will be on, not on his bumper, but he'll be looking to gain that 5th spot in that top 5. So far, it's been about the same 2 cars leading the pack all day. It's either been Vanquish or MVP. Hawk has sort of been that silent 3rd or 2nd place car that's just capitalized on either one of them making a mistake, as we have a car go off in turn 1. It will be 8th place. That will be Panda. So now he has Og on his back bumper. Og will be looking to make up that spot after recent mistakes. Oh, but Og goes way off 3. Like I said, you cannot overdrive turn 3. You will lose a ton of time. So now Panda is not feeling as pressured as he was moments ago. We'll go back up to Vanquish. We'll see how well he's done so far. He's moved up to 6th place since the last time we saw him. For those who didn't know, obviously Vanquish posted the fastest practice and qualifying lap and the fastest lap overall at a 44.133. Speaking of which, let's see what the fastest lap of this race is. It's a 43.937. Vanquish is the first driver to break the 44-second margin. Up ahead, we see Willie Mixer battling for 5th. Oh no, another lag out. Or obviously a park. Who was it this time? It was Grimmer. Unfortunate for him. Obviously one of the rookies coming into tonight. Oh, 48 absolutely sends it into turn 1. May have been trying to take a swipe at Vanquish, but I can't 100% say either way. He was coming very fast for that corner, and Willie will make a mistake. Vanquish will now capitalize, looking on the inside. Willie will take the inside of turns number 4 on the outside of turns 5 and 6. Willie with a crossover. Can Vanquish do it right back? Not quite. Willie will clear back Vanquish after that mistake. Oh, but Vanquish with the better run on the front stretch, some contact at the beginning of it coming to turn 1. Vanquish will send it in. He'll clear him, but Willie will look for the crossover. Can't quite make it. Can't quite get it done. Will he send it on the inside in turn 2? No, he won't. It looks like Vanquish might have 5th spot for at least the time being. As Vanquish pulls away from Willie, 5th place now. Behind them, there's a battle for 8th place between Panda and Oracle for 8th place. Typhon, rather. Is that Typhon? I believe it is. Oh, sorry, Typhon. It is Typhon, but it is a lap car, rather. Because obviously Typhon parked it for about a lap or 2 there. We're right along with 3rd place now, SSR. SSR has made a couple mistakes, but really everyone has it, at least at this point of the race. I believe everyone has at least overdriven one corner, either at corner 1, corner 6, or corner 3. Those are the 3 most common to overrun, as one overruns corner 6 as we speak of it. I believe that was Hawk in 2nd place that overran that corner. Just a tad. He got back on track. There's the gap between 2nd place. Obviously the blue highlighted dot in the bottom left. And MVP in 1st place, currently the white dot that says number 1 on it, as Foxy runs wide again in turn number 2 ahead of 2nd place Hawk. A pack starting to form here between a bunch of drivers. SSR is looking to battle Hawk for 3rd place, but just behind him is Vanquish in 4th. After making a pit stop, he fell back to 9th. He slowly but surely made his way up. Obviously, Vanquish looking to go back-to-back yet again this week, and last week winning. Well, not this week, but he's looking to win this week to go back-to-back. So we'll see if he's able to do it tonight. Still on a quarter of the way through of the race. Obviously, a 140-lap race. It says 141, but you have to count in the lap. And SSR goes really wide. He comes back across the track. Off-road goes low to avoid him. Goes into the grass. Vanquish will try and capitalize on the outside now of turns 2. Coming into turn 3, Vanquish will have the inside. So let's see if he can make it work. He'll pass him. SSR was going to look for a crossover. Can't quite get it. That will give Vanquish 3rd place, rather. For at least the time being. Let's see if SSR can try and make a move. If he cannot, and it doesn't look like he'll be able to do it at least for the time being, maybe in a lap or 2, but Vanquish will now move up to 3rd place, obviously last week's winner, and has had the fastest lap in this race, as well as got the pole and the fastest lap in practice. Hawk now will be the next target for Vanquish, but Hawk's been running a very, very nice race so far. Very minimal mistakes. I think only maybe one mistake, and he just went wide, really. So nothing major. Oracle goes wide in front of the 2nd and 3rd, but he'll keep it high to give him room for the battle. Vanquish now closing in on Hawk. Obviously, there's the gap in the bottom left between second and first. The blue dot being Hawk, the white dot being leader. As someone goes wide in turn one, trying to find who it is. It is indeed Off-Road. Off-Road not having the week he wanted this week. Obviously, usually a pretty strong contender, especially on these road courses. But unfortunately, just can't find some pace this week. Back in 11th. Not the way he's wanting to start this week. As we have slow cars up ahead in second place being Hawk. As I think we have a caution. Though the leader is almost one lap ahead of everyone. So the leader will come to a stop. It will kind of be a red flag, but more of a yellow flag sort of situation. So the second yellow flag comes out at lap number 42 for an unknown reason. An unknown reason at this moment. 3 lag-outs this week. One of those being, at least so far, one of those being a rookie. The rookie being Grimmer. The other 2 being Smokey and Cart. So it's an unfortunate event for those 3 drivers. Especially for Cart. Cart being the only one out of those 3 cars to have ran more than one race this season. This is both Smokey and Grimmer's first race of the season, I believe. So the lineup again, obviously same rules apply. We'll go around twice, 3 times if needed, but everyone gets 1 lap back if you're a lap down. This time cars can pit if they so choose. They do not have to. We'll see who comes in. Second place Hawk will come in. We'll have Cam, Wooly, D-Dog, Panda. We'll have Panda. We'll be number 81, Cam. Edwards, Panda, Culture, Hawk, D-Dog, and FM. And we'll have one last Strangler come in near the end there. Obviously Off-Road. The Oracle, number 10 machine, and Tyson behind him. So, that will leave first place to MVP still. Actually, not the top, almost the top 3 from the beginning of the race. So, in first place on the inside, we'll have MVP. To his outside, we will have SSR by the looks of it. In the bottom second row, we will have Vanquish. So he gained no positions out of this. Behind them is Hawk. Oh, and almost turned under caution as MVP. So we'll line them up. Obviously, with caution rules, we have 3-lap intervals between the 2 cautions. So, if you crash on the first lap of green, that sucks. Unfortunate. Get it back going and keep going through your race. If you have to pit. But if you crash, obviously we'll be going on lap 45 by the looks of it. So if you crash on lap 48 or 49, we will get a caution if you have damage or if 2 cars completely spin around. So it will be MVP who will guide us to the green as we come through turn 2 of the final pace lap. With restart rules, the leader has control. He has control from the entrance of pits all the way down to the line. He is allowed to go anywhere between there. Obviously a pretty big sector for Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Yet again, first time XRS has come here this year. And so far, it's been a very entertaining race. Obviously, on lap 44, we'll restart on lap 45. So, I mean, just under 100 laps to go left in this race. So we're just over a quarter of the way through now. But as we come around turn number 6, MVP now has control of the field. When will he go green? He will go now. Green flag back out. Vanquish with a great start. Hawk with a great move to the inside to retake 3rd place. Coming into turn 1. Relatively clean restart for the most part. Coming to turn 2 goes the field. Top 2 start to break away a little bit. We'll move on to Cam in 6th place. Some contact in the back half of the field between FM and I believe Tyson and or Oracle. Couldn't quite tell. It was a white car for sure. Look, I'm into turn 3. No contact. Will anyone overdrive? Turn 5 or 6. Doesn't appear so. We'll come down the front stretch. Oh, and SSR goes really wide. Will move to the inside. He'll now look. SSR will block number 81 of Cam on the inside. Now SSR will make a dive bomb move. They'll have contact. Wooly goes really wide off the back end of SSR. He'll have to try and remerge on traffic, but he loses a lot of positions. SSR will go wide in turns number 2. That'll open up the door for Cam. Coming to turns number 3 now. Cam sends it a little deep. He'll lose a little bit of time for the high arc in that corner. Nothing much, though. We'll move on to the leaders. Vanquish is now taking the lead. As there's a battle for the lead now. Beaten and banging as they come around the final corner, turn 6. Vanquish with the nose for now, but MVP will try and set it in on the outside. Can he do it side by side into turns 1? More contact. MVP will go really wide, and he'll be really loose. Vanquish will slow down. Give him the spot back. He didn't like how he passed him. This will open up the door for Hawk. Now it's a 3-way battle for first. Can Hawk potentially capitalize now? Coming through turn number 3 goes top 3. Obviously, the top 3 have broken away from that main pack. MVP will still lead the pack of 3, but all within about 1 car length of each other. Vanquish will look to the inside now. MVP gets really loose. That will open up the door for Vanquish. Vanquish will now take the lead and potentially open up the door for Hawk coming to turn 1. Hawk won't make the move. MVP will cover the inside. Diamond's in front of them. Obviously a lap car at this point. He'll be in the way of everyone. He takes out Hawk. Oh, no. I don't believe Hawk will be the happiest person in the world after that move. Fox, obviously, multiple laps down at this point. 6 laps to be in fact. Tried to be precise. And got loose in front of the leaders, intentionally or unintentionally. Still, unfortunately, costed one of the top 3 multiple spots as Hawk falls all the way down to, 11th place, sorry. 11th place, so from third to 11th with that move. Very unfortunate circumstances for Hawk, but now he's battling for 9th, and he gets tagged again. Woolie's around. JDM goes wide, and Hawk is also around. 3 cars, lap number 49. That may bring out the caution. We'll have to check with the leader as he comes to the line this time by if that indeed does bring out the caution. We definitely did have 2 cars at least at a 90-degree angle. I believe we're in our lap interval. It does not appear that there will be a caution. It does not appear that there will be one. Oh. No, I don't believe so. So we'll go back into the middle of the pack now as we have another car off. Just in the second corner. Trying to get a number on that car for you. I believe it may have been Tyson. Or Foxy. It was one of those 2 cars. I couldn't quite tell. Because when I reached them, they were on top of each other. So I ran along with 13th FM. Currently alongside JDM, who's running 9th. Respectable performance by JDM, but I do think he would like to get a little higher than what he is now. Maybe try and crack the top 5 if possible. But so far, been a very excellent race all around. We're on lap number 51. Now we'll move along to Panda in the number 15 car in 5th place, currently battling with Oracle for 6th place. Oracle on the inside. He'll be on the outside of turn number 3. Oracle has the nose ahead of Panda, but now Panda will go cut back on turn 3. Can Oracle get a run coming to turns 4, 5, and 6? We'll have to see. Not quite. He'll look to the outside. Will he play it aggressive? Oh, no, he gets way wide, way loose. He'll lose positions. Falls to 6th. Now 7th. He'll lose 2 spots by going wide, and off-road will now look to his bumper. Just behind them, a battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th at one point. No, just 10th and 11th. Unfortunately, that was 13th FM. Wooly obviously was looking strong ahead, but we have more chaos in front with 6th, 7th, and 8th. A battle there, mostly between 7th and 8th. That being off-road and Oracle now. Off-road will look to the outside. He taps Oracle. Oracle will spin. He'll cause a blockage. Off-road won't go, and out of respect and out of sportsmanship, obviously did bump Oracle, but it did not want to pass him that way. Obviously, last year these two were on a team. This year that team folded, and now they are on 2 separate teams. But obviously did not want to pass him that way. Look back at the map. We'll see the gap between Vanquish and MVP is about 3 seconds. Currently between first and second. Still a long way to go, though. So we'll check in on the fastest lap of the race so far, which is still Vanquish with a 43.869. I believe the first and only driver so far to break that 44-second barrier. Most of the field was running 44-45s at practice and at qualifying. As we have a battle for I believe 10th and 11th. Yep, 10th and 11th. Hawk, after unfortunately getting tangled with the Woolly, falls from 3rd to 11th. He's made up a little bit of ground, about 1 spot since that time. So we have a car off in the infield. I'll try and get a number on that car. 14th, Typhon. Unfortunate there's Foxy has either parked it or has disconnected, unfortunately, which would mean another lag out. Also, he was also a rookie coming to this race. There's a cluster of cars here. One went high, it's 8th to 11th. Hawk has capitalized out of that. MVP has fallen way back. I think he actually might have pitted. Culture will go way wide. He'll lose a position, potentially 2 to Wooly there, as he will. MVP is running first or second for practically all of this race, I believe, if not all of this race, besides this 1 point. But he'll now fall down to 10th. I believe he did pit. I know I did see a car going to the pits, but I didn't quite catch what number that car was. So he'll have some ground to work on here. And while the pit road's relatively long for a relatively short track, Hawk will now look on the inside of Oracle for 7th place. So 7th through 11th is in this small little pack here. You can see they're not very far apart. Hawk will retake 7th. He's made a lot of moves in the last couple of laps to move up the chain. If Hawk can reach 3rd place or higher, he'd continue his streak and be the only driver to reach a podium in every race of the season so far. Those being the only 3 races so far. Been a pretty entertaining race for the most part so far. 2 cautions so far. I believe on lap number 13 and lap number 44, if I am not mistaken. Right along with this group right now, Hawk leading the group of about 4 or 5 cars, 7th on back 7th. But if you look, first place, Vanquish is catching up to them relatively quick. I believe he is about to lap 12th place. Currently, yes, he is. That's SSR. Another driver that started really well early on this race, but just has not found momentum. He's found momentum, but he's just made mistakes like that. Unfortunately, went wide there. Those little mistakes are adding up, unfortunately, for SSR, as he does go a lap down. At this point, he is hoping for a caution to get his lap back, as we have another car go wide behind him in turn number 3. That would be third place D-Dog. Didn't go very wide. Doesn't look like it affected him too much, but he did go a little wide off the corner there. I'll go back to Hawk in 7th place, who's trying to hold on to that 7th place right now against MVP, who's looking on the inside, now the outside. Back to the inside. He's going to try and go do a crossover. Can MVP get it complete? Not quite. MVP very loose coming off corner number 6 down the front stretch. They're side by side. MVP can't quite get the nose out. He'll probably dive bombing on the inside. No, he won't. Side by side in turns 1, slight contact, not much though. Coming to turns 1 and 2, MVP with the inside. He'll clear Hawk, but he did lock up a little. Hawk will do a crossover move, contact, major contact. Both cars are loose. Hawk will take the position. MVP now on the inside in turns 3. He'll clear him. Hawk just ever so barely. Will Hawk try and push it coming to turns 5 and 6? Let's see. He's in turn 5 right now. Comes into turn 6. Back out. Not quite. Can't get there. MVP will take 7th place for the time being. Behind them, a battle for 9th between 2 cars. Those being Wooly and Oracle. Oracle on the outside for turn 1. He has it for the time being, but he goes really wide into the sand trap. He'll lose at least 1 position. 2 positions. He'll be lapped by Vanquish. Potentially 3 positions. And that's how much time you can lose on the circuit if you run it wide. Behind them, but now there'll be a battle for 11th and 12th. But in front of them, a battle for 4th between Edwards and Panda for 4th place. Panda will look to the outside, or the inside now, coming to turn 1. Locks up the brakes a little bit of contact, a little bit of more, not much. A little bit more. Coming to turns 2, Panda will have the inside. Panda can't wait. They touch majorly since Edwards are very loose. Almost sideways, almost spins it. Edwards has to lock up the brakes. Edwards very loose since that contact. Panda will take the 4th spot. But for how long can he hold it? As Edwards looks to be gaining just ever so slightly. Coming into turn 6, now coming out of turn 6. Edwards will run wide to get a little more speed for the straight. But it looks like Panda will hold the spot, at least for the time being. Behind them, there's a battle for 6th place between Off-Road and MVP. MVP just took it over that corner in corner number 1. Corner number 2. You can see 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th all very, very close together. Barely even 2 packs between these cars right now. Almost halfway through this race, lap number 63. As one car goes wide out of this group, it's Og. Panda's very loose as he's spinning. Yes, just barely misses pit wall, but he'll lose a lot of positions. Those two were battling just earlier, but they've lost a lot of position now. Hawk looking on the inside of Off-Road. He's going to look to take 5th place. Hawk looking to retain his record of podium finishes throughout the race. Obviously, top 3 will get interviews after the race. So over contact between Panda and Edwards, you can see Vanquish, obviously 1st place, catching up on all of these cars, which would put, I think, the most lap cars in one race at any given point would go to this race if he does manage to lap all these cars. At least for this season. But Vanquish is slowly making his way through that field of cars. He's up to about 7th place right now, which is Hawk. Or sorry, not Hawk. I believe, it is Edwards. He's going to look on the inside of Edwards, so we'll go up and ride along with Vanquish now, who's currently in 1st. Gets on the inside of Edwards. He'll now lap Edwards. So 7th on back is at least 1 lap down, if not more. But remember, if a caution does come out, every driver is allowed to get 1 lap back. So if they can get a caution, obviously not purposely, but if a caution does happen accidentally, then all these drivers will get their laps back and be on the lead lap and have their chances of winning this race back. But so far, very dominant performance by Vanquish. Looked like MVP was challenging him a lot for a while there. It was a very good battle between those two cars. But MVP did pit, and he's been sent back and has had to work his way through the field yet again. I believe he fell back to 10th or 9th place. Vanquish will go off there pretty wide, but he'll get it back on track. But Vanquish has slowly but surely moved his way up to a 4th place, but he's just in front of Vanquish. Currently 2nd place is Cam, and it's a very wide gap. It is about it's about half, not half the track, but it's about a third of the track. So we'll have to see if a caution does come out, or Vanquish will just run away with it for the next just over 70 laps. But currently, Hawk looks to be the next one on the block to be lapped. As we have a battle farther back here for, I believe, 10th. Yes. It'll be 10th place between SSR and Culture, number 84, and the number, what? I can't remember what his number is, unfortunately, right now. And the number 1, I thought it was 01. As Panda makes a mistake, a major mistake somehow, somewhere, he loses about 2 or 3 spots to, I think, Wooly, SSR, and Culture, if not more. And he blocks it up big time into turn number 2. I can't quite tell if he hit the tire barrier or not. If he did, then we'll have a caution, which gives all these cars another shot. FM goes wide, and he'll lose about 3 positions. He was in the... Actually, sorry, I don't think he actually lost positions. I think he was actually slowing up because he's seen this battle up here for 9th place between SSR and Wooly. Contact. Wooly goes really wide. Doesn't quite go off, but he does lose the spot to SSR. A little bit of contact was what did that there. Up ahead, a battle for 6th place ensues between Off-Road and Edwards. Hawk now battling for just to keep on the lead lap. You can see he's keeping pace. He was at his peak 2nd place in the race, but since has dropped back due to a accident between him and the 48 car. We'll now move on into deeper into the pack to 6th place, where there's a battle about to go on between Off-Road and Edwards. Behind them, a battle for 8th place between Wooly and SSR. Most of the field is lapped by this point, but like we have said, if a caution does come out, all those cars can get 1 lap back. Not 2, not 3, just a single lap back. So far, only 2 cautions throughout this race as we hit halfway through the race. Soon here we will do a crank it up, so I will be muting my mic for about 2 to 3 laps, and we'll just let the race do about 3 laps and just crank up the volume. So far, been a very exciting race as we see SSR trying to get past the lap car Oracle. Been a very interesting race, especially on restarts. no real dull moments in this race so far, as there's always been someone going off at some point on the track. Because obviously, like I said, turns 2, 3, or sorry, turns 1, 3, and 5 and 6, halfway through 5, all of 6, are usually where people will run off and lose a lot of time. We've seen it time and time again. As it happens again, off-road goes really wide. A big mistake there, potential controller failure there, and off-road most likely has damage. That could bring out the caution. We'll have to see with the leader, Vanquish, if he slows down any. That will be our telltale sign. He might be going around once more, so we'll stick with him for one more lap. But definitely damage to off-road. I believe it was a controller failure on his part, because it looked like he just went straight and stopped there for a couple seconds. D-Dog goes to be the next one to be lapped by Vanquish, who is in 4th place currently. So we'll have to see if Vanquish crawls down to a slow speed. D-Dog very loose on that corner. Keeps it straight through the corner. It does not look like there'll be a caution, though. Yes, no caution. So we'll go back into the pack, where we find a battle for 7th place. Oh, and Willie has gone very far off, and he almost collects Tyson. Tyson has to check up. That could have been very bad. But fortunately, I should say, actually, Tyson was able to check up in time. So far, there's been about a caution about every quarter of the race. Or not every quarter of the race, about every third of the race, obviously. So we should be getting the caution here soon. First time XRS has been the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. I'd say so far it's been a success. Obviously, it's produced some great racing all in all. We're a lot farther into the pack to find a battle for 8th place. Go underway between JDM and Wooly. Wooly currently stuck between Tyson and Oracle. 2 lap cars right now. But I think we'll go to... Oh, we have 2 cars off. 12th place, Oracle. And Tyson behind him. Tyson looks to be parking it. At least for the time being. He does have a lot of damage, though, so we could see a caution. That could be what we were looking for. There comes around to the line. It was 2 cars, and Tyson definitely did have damage. It does not appear that there will be a caution, though he may come around once more. Vanquish flicking the lap, the entire field if he gets up to 2nd place here. So at this point, the field would need a caution to mix stuff up. You can see Tyson still parked there in 14th place in the number 11 car on the inside as Vanquish passed him. So far, a fair few small incidences like going wide or a spin or two, but nothing really much so far. Vanquish will go to the pits now. So people will be looking to unlap themselves at this point, as it is a fairly long pit road. We'll see how many people can do it while he is in here. Tyson has since pit behind him. So this could be a strategy by Tyson, or not Tyson, Vanquish, if there is a caution out. Because the leader has to pass the line for there to be a caution. But it does not appear so. So up to ninth place will unlap themselves. So ninth forward will have unlapped themselves at this point. We'll check the fastest lap, and I think we'll go to crank it up for about 2 to 3 laps. Fastest lap so far, Vanquish, who has improved that lap to a 43.726. So very fast laps. Like I said, I think he might be, not confirmed, might be the only driver to break that 44 barrier. MVP, Hawk, and even other drivers might have done that as well. But so far, he is the only one that we know of that has broken that 44-second barrier. Next up, we will go to crank it up for about 2 to 3 laps, like I said. We'll ride along in the pack, out of the pack, and other spots, just to see some racing. Like I said, I will be muting my mic for that time. Once we go there, as Willie gets really loose coming to turns 4 and 5. So as Vanquish crosses the line, we will initiate crank it up. Welcome back to the XRS race 3 of the season of the 21-21 season at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. I'm now joined by a kart racer who was running up in the top 5, battling for the top 5, but then unfortunately lagged out early on in this race. Welcome into the booth, kart racer.
There we go. Mic issues. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problems. It was obviously unfortunate that you lagged out when you did. Obviously, you were battling 5th place when you did lag out, so very unfortunate timing there for yourself. But now you obviously join me in the booth. Obviously, you raced a couple laps of this track. You've seen how it was running, how you were running the tune, and just the track itself, really.
Yeah, it's definitely a very difficult track to get a grasp on. Um, Especially going into turn one, such a high speed corner, you don't want to get caught up in the sand trap. And it's very slick too, I've noticed. At least with this tune, the car seems to push in some turns and then it'll just snap loose on you in others. So it's definitely a difficult car to get a hold on, but it seems like Vanquish definitely has a good hold on it. And
Yeah.
that was not a good sight by Tyson.
Oh, Panda getting very loose up front off the bumper of Vanquish. But yeah, obviously Vanquish last year put on a very dominating performance last week to get the win. He's obviously looking for another win this week as he's looking to lap SSR. SSR, another guy who's had some maybe bad luck during the beginning parts of this race. As he gets tapped off the bumper of Vanquish, he goes way off track. And I think he does collide with another car who was off track at the time, who had parked it. So that actually may bring out the caution. Yeah, SSR and Tyson are around. That might bring up the caution. Just ahead of them, Oracle is around as well in turns 5 and 6.
Yeah, that definitely brought out a caution. Vanquish is
Yes.
slowed up and
Yes, caution is out on track. With the caution, obviously, every car can get 1 lap back. That's any amount of laps down, but only can get 1. So this will put most of the field back on the lead lap again. See Vanquish slow, waiting for everyone to catch up. So this will be sort of the formation and pitting lap. After that, everyone will form back up. I think in this scenario we will have to go for 3 laps. So the restart will be back on lap number 91.
yeah.
Obviously, Cart, you can correct me on this. I do believe the caution interval is 3 laps. So that would mean lap number 94 cautions would be back on.
I'm 90% sure because I've been listening into the radio chat amongst the drivers, and I haven't been told any. I've lagged out, so I haven't been paying attention. Just kind of hoping for the 6-car lag out rule.
Yes.
But unfortunately, lap 71 hit, and hasn't happened. But I believe it's 4 laps.
Is it 4?
Like it should be. It's a very short track, so
Yeah.
I would have to assume.
Yeah, 3 or 4 laps. I believe it might actually be 4. So in that case, that would mean lap number 95 would be when cautions are turned back on instead of the 94.
Yes.
But obviously, only 5 cars were not lapped, so 6 on back will get 1 lap back. That will put most of the field back on the lead lap. This time by, we'll see who comes in as pits will be open this time by. We'll see if there are any takers. D-Dog takes.
D-Dog went in.
D-Dog will be the only one out of those top 6 cars that went in. I'm sure there'll be more behind them. They're just trying to catch up and get back caught up with the pack as another car comes in behind him.
Yeah.
6th place comes in.
After running a few laps in these cars, you seem to burn a lot of fuel pretty quickly around this short track because you're running such high RPMs.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Edwards, Woolley, Off-Road, and Oracle are the five takers rather, for pit road. It's only 5 cars this time. I believe the least amount out of the cautions. I believe every caution we've had at least 7 cars come into pit road, but this time only 5. This obviously being the third caution of tonight. Just over halfway through, almost 2/3 through of the race. Lap number 90 currently. We will restart probably next lap, I would imagine.
After getting everyone caught back up,
Yeah.
right? Because there's definitely a lot of cars. Oh, Vanquish is going in along with MVP,
So now that brings 4 more cars.
Vulture. So
Most top 3 all come in, and then 5th place JDM or Culture rather. So that will give that will give the lead back to Hawk. Which, if he does finish in the top 3, he is the only driver to finish in the top 3 in all of the races so far.
I think this is going to be a tough night for Hawk, especially early on with Diamond Foxy. He was having a lot of trouble with him. It seemed he was every time he went to go around him and lap him, Foxy just kept him up too much.
Yeah,
But
and unfortunately,
I think it's going to be very difficult.
And unfortunately, the 48 car did get into him, which is which sort of started the problems for Hawk for a while there. But he's made his way back up through the pack and now leads it, thanks to not only cautions but drivers pitting. So he's not doing terrible at the moment, but yet again, there's still a very long race to go, so many things can change as Hawk now goes in to pit.
I was just going to say that's going to make it very difficult, especially because D-Dog, he's a hard charger at, road courses. He's very good, very methodical. So it would have been very difficult to hold him off.
But I do think that this track has almost thrown off a lot of our road course ringers, such as Typhon or not Oracle, but Off-Road, and I guess really even Oracle too. Hawk has struggled with it a fair bit. Culture struggled with it a fair bit.
Really, it almost seems to kind of cater to more of the oval guys, because it seems like it kind of almost.
I'd almost say it's a blend. It's almost a blend, and that's what's throwing people off. Is because in some corners, you're having to do more oval things, but in other corners, like turn 3, you're having to really get on the brake and be a more road course like track. So I think that blend is what's throwing off a lot of drivers, especially a lot of the road course ringers, rather than the oval drivers.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of road course ringers besides of I would say Vanquish, MVP, Hawk a little bit. But it looks like we're going to be going green this time.
Yeah, and we will go green. Remember, leader has control past pit wall here as we come up right next to it. So anywhere from here to the line, he's able to go green. And
I believe he's going to hold them up quite a bit. Yep, and there he goes. Green's out.
And green flag is out. Off-road will look to the inside. Vanquish coming into turn 1. Very few lockups. Off-road goes really wide. He almost goes around along with 10th place. 1 car around. It is Off-road in the back. Very sideways. 3 wide in turns number 2. Wooly will take advantage of that. SSR gets tapped by Edwards coming into turn 3. SSR and Edwards
3 wide.
Gone very far back. Vanquish now 3 wide in the back half. Not back half, but in the middle. Oracle locks up, pushes Culture, but doesn't really do much to either of them. Fair bit of contact. Vanquish is around.
Vanquish is around.
Major
Saves
contact.
It. A full 360.
SSR Panda 3-4 wide now. SSR got the worst of it. More bad luck for SSR on the restarts. Coming to turn 1. Panda fully sends it in. 1 car very far off. It's Wooly in 4th. He'll lose 4 or 5 spots. Make that 6. Major lockup by Panda gets into Hawk in turns number 2.
Very chaotic restart, I will say.
Yes, I don't think it's the most chaotic yet. I think that would go to the first restart. Hawk goes wide in turns number 3. Vanquish looking to make up a lot more spots. Vanquish currently has fallen back to 7th in that big pack. Another car around, it's Wooly. He does save it though, but one car goes wide. I believe that was Panda. Wooly now goes wide. Excuse me, it was not Panda. It did look like an orange car though.
This back up front seems to be a close battle for the lead between MVP and D-Dog. So far,
Yes.
D-Dog seems to be holding him off.
Yes, well, while everyone else was battling in the middle of the pack, the front two have been battling themselves. MVP does go a little wide. He will lose a little bit of time to D-Dog. D-Dog looking for his first win of the season, like most of the field. So far, only 2 winners this season, obviously with 2 races, but we were looking almost at a repeat winner for the longest there. With Vanquish leading for most of the lap, and at one point lapping the entire field, but did decide to pit, and that put everyone from 9th on forward back on the lead lap, and then the caution came out shortly after. We'll now go back to the pack.
I will say Vanquish does seem to get a hold on this car. Along with MVP, I have noticed MVP also seemed to give...
Culture getting tapped by Hawk. Oracle sideways. He spins now. Oracle is backwards off turns number 2. Everyone dodges him somehow, and we will keep green, most likely. Obviously, cautions are now re-enabled. So, 1 car damage, and you can obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but 1 car damage, and is it 2 or 3 car spin are cautions? Like, full spins, obviously.
It is one car damage and 2 cars involved in a spin.
Yes.
So I believe it goes 2 cars spinning.
Yes.
That have made contact with each other.
Yeah. Hawk goes wide. He'll lose a couple spots as well now in turns 1.
Well, it looks like Vanquish made his way out of the big pack right there.
Yes, he did, and I think he wanted to get out of that as fast as possible, like any sane person would, because that's where most of these more chaotic racing and spins have been happening throughout the race, is in these big packs like this. Edwards goes wide, and that will open up the door for Vanquish to take 4th place, but he does have a very long way to go to catch up to first. About a 2 or 3 second gap.
Now, this is where, let's see, we've already been 5 laps in after this restart, I believe. So everyone that has pitted can make it. So everyone that currently has pitted can make it, but now the question is, will the tires last that long? Because I know running practice laps earlier, my tires were getting destroyed around lap 43 to lap 47. It was definitely taking a beating, especially on those left sides. This is mostly right-hand turn.
Yeah, and it's going to be whoever can save not only their fuel, but their tires. They need to save their wear, make sure they have tires for the rest. And if they do that, then they really don't have to pit again, as you said. But if they do wear their tires, if they do lock up their brakes and not flat spot their tires, but wear down the tires, because flat spot doesn't exist in Forza Motorsport 7. But if they do wear down those tires by locking up those brakes, then they will be in big trouble for later on in the race and may have to pit because their tires are just so unbearable at that moment.
As what I've heard, I believe. Yes, I am hearing that right. So, after hearing to the radio chat on them, it seems like off-road got damage during that, so caution will be called at the line. And MVP, after all that chaos, becomes a leader.
Yeah, but I'm sure MVP did definitely not want a caution. He knew how far back Vanquish was as he crosses the line. It will be the 4th caution of the night, lap 101. Just 40 to go left in this race. So we're about just under a quarter left in this race, I'd say. So, I mean, if I was MVP, I'd be hoping for no caution. You know, as long as you save your tires, you can make it. Your only challenge at the moment is D-Dog, who is a couple car lengths behind you. And now you have
Yes,
the
and
threat
D Dog
of
is definitely going to be aggressive on this restart because he does not want Vanquish at all near him.
yeah, and that was another factor is that Vanquish was right behind them. Unfortunately, we have another lag out and or parking. As it was
Oh,
Vanquish,
Vanquish.
an upset.
Okay.
Vanquish
Why
will
couldn't
not
this
go back
happen?
to back
Seven.
after looking like he was going to be dominant again this week. A huge, huge upset for tonight.
Man, that's very disappointing on both ends for me and him. Couldn't have done if he did that maybe 30 laps earlier, it would have been all right.
Well, I'm sure Vanquish did not leave.
No, he did not. That I saw him coast past what was that? RZX Cam. I saw him coast past there, but I didn't think he was lagging out. I thought he was just coasting, but I guess I was stood corrected.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be the biggest upset of tonight. As Vanquish was looking on
And
track
now,
to at least give a shot at winning this race and go back to back, but now this race is completely up for grabs. I'm sure MVP and D-Dog are now sweating a sigh of relief, along with Hawk. Those being the top three right now.
yeah, Hawk especially, because now that's going to make it way easier for him to make it into the top three. Another race.
Yeah, for 3 weeks in a row, being the most consistent driver. If he does finish third, I believe he's finished third in every race. I could be wrong though. I'd
Yeah,
have to check Daytona, but I'm pretty sure that would mean he's finished third
Daytona.
in every race.
Daytona was a third place for him. I can't remember what the last week was.
I
Oh,
want to say it
Magello.
was a
Magello, he finished third
yeah.
as we are going into green.
Hawk's been close many times, probably
Yeah.
closer than anyone, but we will be going around.
No, we are not going
Yeah,
green.
we
Never
will be
mind.
going around
I
once more
thought we were.
because we are missing 2 cars in the back, and apparently some cars need to get another lap.
It's and I know we've mentioned Tython's name earlier. It's very unfortunate for him. He's been having controller issues. As right now, he's running a wired controller instead of a wireless or preferred wired controller. It's just it's having a lot of issues with him.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen guys with controller issues before. Obviously, off road had a controller issue early on, went straight onto the tire wall. Unfortunately, got damaged from that. Um, but Tyson, another guy that we came in expecting to do fairly well in this race, has just, like you said, with controller issues, just can't get momentum up, and has dropped farther. It's dropped back into the field. Very
Yeah.
unfortunate for him.
Yes, as it seems like we might be coming up to green
I do
now.
believe we should
I'm
be going this
not
time.
sure.
So MVP will be the control car on the restart.
Yep,
As
and green's
always,
out.
green is out. Going to turn one. MVP with a great launch. D-Dog maybe was not sleeping, but didn't get a great one. Turn one, we come
Now it looks
in.
like Hawk
Not
is gonna
much
try to battle for that
contact.
second.
D-Dog goes flying into turn two. He'll take second from Hawk. Now Hawk battling with Cam for third. Will Hawk be protective? Yes, he will. He'll guard that inside. Cam will now look to the inside. Can't quite get there. And Hawk's around.
Oh,
He's
Hawk is
spinning.
around.
Saves it. Doesn't back into the wall, but loses four spots almost. He'll lose 3
Knowing
in
him,
total.
he'll be able to get that back.
He should be able to. MVP with a giant lead. We'll go back farther into
SSR
the
off the
pack.
track, spinning. Caught in the Sam trap, luckily
SSR
avoiding
has,
anyone else.
Oh, and we have another car either leave or go back.
I believe that was a leave because he was out in the
SSR.
sand trap.
So that'll leave us with 12
Very
cars.
unfortunate this race.
12 cars out of the 18 originally, so that's six potential parks or lag outs. We can assume probably 3 or 4 lag outs out of that bunch.
Yes. As
Obviously,
MVP just looks to be pulling away from D-Dog, and
obviously the lag out rule could come into effect if we have, say, two more cars lag out, 2 to 3 more cars lag out.
as the rule states, it does say only 6 cars if there's 17 plus, but that would have had to have been before lap 71.
Oh, so
So
before
as of
halfway.
right now, if you
Yeah,
halfway, so right now if you lagged out, you're out. It's doesn't matter how many more lag out. It could be the rest of the lobby. Well, I'm sure if it's the rest of the lobby, we would reset it, but it could be all the way up until third place, and we can't do anything about it because the race has to go on.
yeah, and I
Unfortunately,
mean,
that's just how it goes.
yeah, and it's unfortunate for some of these drivers, like Vanquish, like yourself, who were running in high positions, high spots, and just unfortunately did lag out under not your own power, obviously, and not under your own choice, but just lag out and lose out on these points. Obviously, will be scored. Is it you're scored where you lagged out, like where you lag out in the finishing positions, or just you get last place's points?
Where you lag out finishing wise. So I believe I was the first one to lag out, so I would be getting last place.
Yes.
Whoever lags out after me
Yeah.
gets the places above.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so on and so forth. But so far the pack really hasn't been spread out too much. About fourth through eighth are all within about half a second gap of each other. But MVP has just starting to run away with it. But I think if some of these cars start working together and stop running a little wide, trying to be a little too aggressive, they might be able to catch MVP. We know Hawk can at least hold on with MVP. D-Dog can as well, we know. As well as Cam. So really all of the top
Yeah.
five can, or top four, we know for a fact can. We haven't seen Culture race MVP yet. Culture's been sort of in the top 10 range for most of this race. He's sort of been silently gaining up now into fifth place in these
I
later
will say
stages.
I will say Culture, as the owner of this league, he's very in the middle of the pack no matter where he goes. Besides, I would say Daytona. That's where he
Hmm.
seems to shine out, just like Reno. But yeah, he always seems to be right there, but he's not. He's never gonna be the fastest. It seems he's always right there at the right moment at the right time. Like when he needs to be there, he's always there,
Off-road
and
hype,
that seems
very
to be very
loose.
impressive with him.
Off-road hype and Evers very loose in the last corner. Could have been some contact between those two cars, but those were very loose cars, and they'll lose about 2 or 3 spots each for that. One goes way off into turn one. It's Wooly. He'll lose a ton of spots. He tries to block Panda. Panda will look to the outside, but because
This
he had
is
to
gonna be
check
a
up,
bad mix.
because he had to
Definitely
check
a
up, he couldn't
bad
get it.
mix, bad blood with these three. Besides, Panda and Off Road are definitely have bad blood with Wooly, so it's going to be interesting to see how they get around him. I know during practice, Off Road was not too keen on Wooly, so it's definitely going to be interesting watching him get around if he does get around.
Currently, sixth through eighth, or sorry, ninth are all here in this little four-car pack. Up ahead, there's an even closer pack between three cars. All from second to fourth. Cam looking now on the outside of second place, that being D-Dog. If these two make a mistake, Hawk will be capitalizing on it for sure. And that's really
Yeah.
how Hawk's made up a ton of positions, is just pressuring people in front of him, and they make one little mistake, and he will capitalize on it. Cam now looking to the inside of D-Dog through turn 6 down in the backstretch. Cam will have him. Can he clear him, though? Yes, he will, just barely. D-Dog will probably look to the inside in turn 1 now. He will, but Cam
Yeah,
will block it.
these three are definitely going to be ones to watch this race, just battling wise, because they are doing an excellent job battling.
Yeah, they've been really these top 4 or 5 cars have been racing a really good race all night. It just seems that at any specific point, somebody has just figured out this track. Obviously, before it was Vanquish, now it's MVP. Um, MVP, obviously,
What?
so far the highest rookie place wise. After him, it would be Cam in second currently. So the rookies are looking to go 1 and 2 tonight, and then behind them are D Dog and Hawk, which Hawk is now looking to the outside. D Dog in third place, coming to turn one.
Both 3 and 4 past champions and past winners for sure. Hawk being a 2-time, D Dog being a 1-time.
And yeah, I mean, right now between first through fourth, it's new guys versus old guys, vets versus rookies.
Yes.
um,
And I will say MVP is definitely showing these old guys what's up. He is showing no remorse. Same with Cam, it seems.
yeah, and I mean Cam's making this gap as they touch. And they're both in the gravel
both of
trap,
them
Hawk
off
in
the
the
track.
wall, into the tire wall. This will open up an
Looks
opportunity
like
for a culture. He might make up 2 spots through this. He might try and set it in turn 1.
No,
Not
he decides
quite.
to hang back.
Just didn't quite get the as close as he wanted to make a move.
That's exactly what I mean by culture. He's always there when he needs to, it seems. As those two got caught up with
Caution is
each other.
out. Caution is
Ooh.
out. That will be the 5th one on the night at lap technically 113. Well, that was definitely a very exciting stint from the 4th to 5th caution.
Yeah, definitely.
I do
And
wonder if the caution was out for D-Dog and Hawk or somebody else.
I believe it was somebody else because
I do believe it
D-Dog
was.
decided to stay out. Now we don't really. I've noticed we haven't talked about points yet. So as we know, this is going to shake up the points a lot with all the lag outs that have happened.
Yes,
You know,
it for sure
Hawk
will.
hasn't lagged out yet, and he's leading, so he's definitely liking this. Reno hasn't showed up. I've lagged out, so he's going to pull his league immensely unless MVP can win, because he is just under 10 points, a 10-point gap.
Yeah, and obviously both the winners of this season, Reno and Vanquish, are not in this race anymore. Vanquish was in it, unfortunately did lag out. Reno, unfortunately, not able to make it tonight. So that leaves a win open to anyone for the grabs, and that will be a lot of points and a lot of playoff points as well. Obviously, 3 playoff points to the winner, 2 for second, 1 for third. So,
And that's definitely going to shake up the top 8 because, as we know, Panda, he's running solid this race. I would say he's been in the top 7, top 5 all race long. It seems I've only seen him outside the top 10, but that was only because he got caught up in incidences.
yeah, and I mean,
But
I think everyone has been caught up in at least one incident so far. Either of their own doing, going wide on the track, or if somebody else is doing, being tapped, spun, or just going wide off the tap, getting loose. So I think everyone in this
right.
race has at least been in 1 or 2 incidents. So really, it's just gonna be a game of who makes less mistakes and who gets caught up in less mistakes. Is really
Right.
who's gonna win tonight, right?
And yes.
Because
And like stated earlier, it's going to shake up the whole points,
yeah,
not just a few positions, especially with Vanquish lagging out. He's not going to gain as many positions as he thought he would.
yeah, and I mean, with Vanquish out, I'm pretty sure everyone, even the drivers, thought Vanquish was going to win tonight with that lead, and then a caution comes out. He gets back up to 4th place though, and we know him and MVP, D-Dog, and Hawk are going to battle. But then he lags out. That basically tells everyone it's go time. Now everyone's going to be
Right.
pushing from here to the end. But as we are about to go green flag is out. MVP with a great start. D-Dog may not a great one, but not a terrible one either. Culture though does capitalize. He'll get a position on Wooly as they go into turns 1 and 2.
Oh, and Wooly tagged D-Dog. D-Dog definitely not going to be happy with that.
No, he will not. Going into turns 3. Let's see if anyone runs it wide. No one will run it wide. Pretty much single file throughout the pack right now.
Oh, D-Dog pushes
gives him a
Wooly
push.
right off the track.
Tells him I didn't like it, so here's your butt push right back. A little bit of retaliation,
pushes Wooly
maybe.
wide. Og tries to get in on this. Definitely a battle to watch.
Og says, I'll take 2 free spots, sure.
And Culture's just lurking right back there, waiting for something else to happen. That just seems to be the way his motto goes.
Yeah, I mean, if you can capitalize on other mistakes, get some free spots, and you don't even have to really work for it, I mean, that's a good day for anyone.
Saving your tires, saving your fuel consumption.
Yep. Hawk in 7th place, looking right behind Culture, but he goes wide. So does Edwards.
Wooly pushes him. Wooly pushes Edwards right off the track. That was very unfortunate. Looks like Culture's going to try to get up on Wooly here. Very unfortunate for Hawk, though, for driving off the track.
Yeah, I mean, it would really be a downer for Hawk to not finish in the top 5 at least in this race, because he's been looking really good all night. Qualified on not pole, but in the top 3, obviously being 3rd place. Had the 3rd fastest lap in practice. So I mean, it would really be an upset if he didn't get at least in the top 5. But he's just not had he's just not had great luck tonight. With
still, he'd be one of the
him.
consistent drivers.
Yeah, he's just not been great all around from tonight. Not of his own doing. He's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time most of the time. Some of his own accord, but not many of his own accord.
Yeah, as we see, now he has to work around Panda, Edwards, and I believe that is Oracle, yes.
Yeah, he's
got to drive around all 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to look on the inside of Oracle right now in turns 2. Will he be able to clear it? It looks like he will.
Oracle seems to give him the room.
He will clear Oracle, but we'll see if Oracle cuts back in turns 3. He won't.
I will say the two that have been battling. I will say 2 people that have been battling hard was actually Edwards and Panda. Edwards making a lot of mistakes during his battles with Panda, getting around him and then messing up another turn. But I was going to say it was going to be interesting seeing how he navigated around those 2.
Yeah, and I mean, the 3 most common places people are gonna miss the corner is 1, 3, and 6, because those are your fast corners where you're coming into a very tight or weird corner. Obviously, 6 and 1 have that elevation change, so you automatically are losing at least some sort of grip. So
Edwards drives wide.
Edwards drives really wide. He went all the way to the grass. He just skipped the sand trap.
And now Hawk's hungry, and he's hunting down Culture for that 5th place.
Yeah, he's looking to get that top 5. 20 laps to go in this race. So we're going to crank it down here shortly, but this is pretty much go time at this point. I'd say 20 to 15 laps is when everyone's making moves, and maybe some not the smartest of moves, but they're trying everything they can to at least either get a top 5, top 3, even a top 10, or even a win. Obviously, MVP still leading this race. We'll pull up the map to show you how far he is from 2nd place. 2nd place being D-Dog.
He has lapped FM Esports.
Yeah. Obviously, the 2nd place is the blue dot on the map. 1st place is the white dot on the map. So that's the gap on track. It's about a 1.5 to 2 second gap. Between 1st and 2nd. I mean, if MVP makes a mistake, I could see D-Dog catching him. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's over yet. Because obviously, if MVP starts making a mistake or makes one big mistake, or a caution comes out between now and before the caution cut off, it's very likely that D-Dog is still in this race.
Wooly drove off the track not too long ago, and I don't know what happened with Coulter. I think he also drove off the track or pitted, one of the two.
Currently second and third might participate in a battle, that being D-Dog and Cam, as they are around FM, who is a lap car at this time, right along with Cam right now, as FM unfortunately does have contact with him. Another lap car proposing troubles for a top runner. I don't think Cam appreciates it that much, as I do think
caution's out.
Caution is out, like I said.
That's what's happening.
Caution is out. So, like I said, this shaked everything up. D-Dog's still in this. Cam's still in this. All the cars still have a shot at winning this. Well,
now Hawk's caught right back up. And unfortunately for Hawk, he's probably going to be put on the outside. I don't see any of these drivers coming in and pitting.
Yeah, at this point, if you pit, it's a gamble. And it may not be a good gamble. We've seen it every week so far. Somebody's going to take a gamble on this last pit stop.
Panda seems to gamble along with Og.
Panda and Og are going to be the two that are going to try the gamble. And, I mean, it almost worked last week at Mugello. The only reason why it didn't is because another caution came out even later, which pretty much guaranteed people who were on a lower fuel strat make it, rather than having to pit that one extra time.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
Typhon.
That could be the difference.
I think that was Oracle, actually. Sorry.
It was indeed Oracle, I believe.
That was Typhon.
No, it was actually no one. I don't.
There's two Mobile One cars, making it difficult for us.
But yeah, I mean, it could come down to a single caution that decides a race, or a single fuel percentage, or a single turn. We've seen it time and time again.
And it looks like we're gonna go around 2 times just for everyone to catch up.
Yes, it does look like we will go around again. So that means pit will be open this time again for anyone who thinks that they're going to try that gamble, as well as Panda and Edwards. We'll see if anyone does it. I doubt anyone else will. Nope.
Looks like we're doubling up right now, so I don't know.
No, we will be going around once more.
No, we are going green this time.
We are, okay. A little bit of a late double up, but we'll go for it. Green
Wooly
flag
dives
is
it
out.
right in there.
Oh, car around.
Chaotic.
I think it was Caulk or Culture. I couldn't tell. It was a blue and black car.
That might be Culture, but I don't know. Culture's still here.
I believe it was Culture, but I do believe he saved it.
Had to have, because he definitely lost a lot of positions, but not enough.
So we're riding along with Cam now in the number 81, currently in third place. MVP this time hasn't really run away with it, so D-Dog and Cam might be able to do something here. MVP has to drive not just about 15 perfect laps.
Wooly dove it right in there to snatch a third, but it looks like Cam's getting right
Cam,
back beside
Cam
him.
unfortunately did lock up his brakes. He went wide. Wooly took the opportunity, dove on the inside. Looks like he almost got the spot. He will clear Cam now.
Oracle spinning.
You have a spin. Caution
Saves
cut
it, but
off.
I believe Panda
Might be this time 4 laps instead of the usual 3 laps. Might be the caution cut off. If you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, of course.
We went green on lap 126, I believe.
Yeah. So 3 laps before the end, correct?
130.
Usually, but this one might actually be 4, simply because we've had every caution have at least 4 pace laps.
I believe this is.
Oh, Wooly goes around off the bumper of Hawk. Hawk gets tagged
into the wall.
Wooly in the entire wall.
Hawk getting into him.
Hawk needs that one spot ahead of him to continue his streak of top threes.
And it looks like Panda got caught up in that shenanigan with him.
Hawk appearing to be able to catch. He's catching up to Cam by the looks of it. He needs that one spot before the end and hold on to that spot to continue his streak of top threes throughout the season so far.
Well, only threes.
Of
He's
top
only been getting
threes and of
threes.
third place itself.
That too. Yeah, definitely a great start to this season for Hawk. I mean, he's been running in the top 5 every race.
Top 5 and finishing top 3 so far, and he's looking to try and repeat it again today. Lap number 30 is what we come up on. That means we have just 11 to go in the race, so one more till 10 laps.
Like I said, this is definitely going to be difficult for Hawk to try to get a third because of the amount of competition at this track. I mean, yeah, he was pretty fast in practice and qualifying good. But once it comes race time, it's different mentality. I feel like that's what's getting to him now.
Obviously, fastest lap of this race is by Vanquish, who unfortunately did disconnect earlier due to lag. It was a 43.726. We believe it's the only car to break the 44-second barrier so far, but that could be mistaken. But we're pretty sure it is the only car so far.
I know MVP also has broken that 44-second barrier.
I'm
not sure about anyone else, though.
Yeah. Right along with Cam still in third place. Hawk seems to have fallen back just a little bit since a little bit ago. He needs to get that third place if he wants to continue the streak. The pack is pretty much spread out at this point. It's pretty much single file and everyone trying to wind down these last couple of laps. Obviously, coming to 9 to go. Cam trying to catch up to D-Dog. He might be actually catching up just a fairly bit, but I don't know if he'll have enough. If really anyone from first to fourth make a mistake, they're losing at least one spot. So all 4 of these cars need to run about 9 more perfect laps to finish where they are right now.
I believe the one that will make a mistake, just watching how they're driving very aggressively, is Cam. I see he's locking up his brakes. He's, going a little wide in some of the turns and breaking loose.
Behind them
but Hawk seems to also be driving too hard too.
Behind them, the pack is 5th, 6th, and 7th in a very close battle. Less than a quarter of a second between these 3 cars. These 3 cars being Oracle, Off-Road, and Edwards. As they come into turn 2, Off-Road looked to the inside, couldn't quite get to the bumper of Oracle.
Oh, Hawk gets right underneath Cam, battling for the 3rd place spot.
Hawk has made up a lot of ground this lap, and he's going to look to complete his pass, and he will. But can Cam do a crossover on turns 5 and 6? Not quite. Hawk looking to protect his 3rd place streak. As Cam gets really loose, he gets that tire on the grass. That might have just sealed it for Hawk. Behind them in the pack.
Cam definitely has some time.
Behind in the pack, Off-Road battling for 6 along with Edwards. Edwards on the inside of turn 1, some contact. Edwards gets loose. He will still keep it going, though. Will lose a little bit of time. Still on the inside of Off-Road for turns 2. Now Off-Road is on the inside for turn 3. If one of these guys overrun it, it could be bad. Switch over maneuver by Off-Road and Edwards there. Still battling for this position.
Yeah, definitely a very close battle and one to watch. Wooly's just kind of lurking back there also, just waiting for something to happen, it seems.
6 laps to go left in this race, almost 5 to go. Next time by is 5 to go. Remember,
MVP just ran a 44.7 there.
Top 3 all do get playoff points at the end of this race. Obviously, first getting 3, second getting 2, third getting 1. Oh, off-road's very loose. He goes off track. That opens up the door for Edwards and Woolley. Still off track. Woolley will now make up a spot. He'll move into... No, not quite. Woolley with the crossover, though. A little bit of contact. Now a battle for 7th place between Woolley and off-road. Woolley will now clear off-road, but can off-road get the run on the front stretch? It looks like he might be just a little bit faster, but I may not be able to do it. He's going to see if he dives it in. He will dive it into turn 1. Some contact happens. Off-road is loose. Still right behind Woolley. Will he try it again in turns number 2? No, he won't. He'll be a little more cautious this time around. Looking to the outside now of Woolley. I mean, we'll see if he does it now again on turn 3. Doesn't look like he has enough space to try and do it.
Hawk getting into D-Dog. Coming out of turn 6.
Yeah, as Hawk is now battling D-Dog for a second. We'll go watch that. Winding down the laps. Very few to go.
There's no more cautions to be called, so now if you wreck, it's on you.
Hawk is very sideways.
Loose.
Sorry, D-Dog rather, sorry. That opens
Yeah,
up the
as
door
I
for
mentioned,
Hawk.
no more cautions from here on out. So if you wreck, it's on you, and you got to deal with your consequences now.
Hawk now in second place. He might snap his third place streak, but I mean it'll be for a better position. So I mean I'm pretty sure he won't complain too much about it. But something I think he will complain is if he loses his top 3 streak. But he looks like he's going to complete it as we go to 3 to go. Or sorry, 4 to go rather. Hawk looking to keep his lead. I think if there was more time, Hawk might be able to catch MVP and maybe try and challenge for the lead, but there's just not enough time. I think we can secure this one in the bag for MVP as long as MVP doesn't make a big mistake, like accidentally hitting a wall.
I believe if Hawk was in a position on that restart, I think he could have contested a lot better for that lead.
6th place goes off. It's Oracle. He might have hit the tire wall. He gets back on track. This is in turns number 5 and 6. Only loses 1 spot, but drops out of the top 5.
As it looks like D-Dog might be under attack now from Cam, as Cam's closing in on D-Dog.
Yeah, I mean, D-Dog has not had a good couple laps so far, but he just needs to hold off Cam for just a few more. FM goes into the sand trap. D-Dog looking to keep that 3rd spot, knowing that there is a playoff point on the line. There's just 2 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, him being a part-time driver, he definitely does not mind taking that playoff point away from someone that could actually use it.
Right now, so far, it's been a rookie race all the way through. MVP will come around to the white flag. Enters the front stretch. It will be white flag. 1 lap to go in race 3 of the XRS 2021 series. Race 3 at Brand Hatch Indy circuit. Going through turns 2. He just really needs to coast it through, making sure he makes no major mistakes on this lap, and he has secured the victory. Now going for 2 and 3. No mistakes through there. Going down that backstretch. Coming into turn 4. Now 5. Going around turn 6, the final corner for the final time. Coming out of turn 6, it's MVP in the 54 car. Battled all night, started second on pole. or second of the thing, crosses the line sideways. MVP is your race 3 winner at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit.
Hawk coming in with a second, and D-Dog third, Cam in fourth. Great race by all four of these drivers. MVP showing it how it's done after Vanquish left.
And MVP
Vanquish
was
lagged out, but
was very rarely out of the top 2 throughout the entire race. Pitted, went back down to 10th, worked his way back up all the way to first. May have helped him that Vanquish lagged out, but at the time Vanquish lagged out, he was in first place. A great race all around. I think an accomplished race for it to being the first time XRS has been here. So, I mean, I think it's a very accomplished and well done race. Really good driving all around. We had mistakes, but we knew we were going to have mistakes. Besides outside of practice that drivers have done, nobody's raced here with these cars with this tune. So, I mean, accidents were expected to happen. 5 cautions, a very exciting race. I think anyone would take that any day of the week.
exactly. He did run very well last week at Mugello, so definitely was looking for this.
So we will do interviews with the top 3 drivers here in just a moment as everyone starts to cross the line.
Very, very good race for all these drivers.
Yeah, all around very, very good racing. Some very exciting racing all around. So we will get interviews from the top 3, those being MVP, Hawk, and D-Dog. We will start with 3rd place here in just a moment. But it looks like, just by looking at it, it looks like a rookie-dominated race for the most part. Obviously, you had Hawk, D-Dog, and Edwards try and challenge for the lead. But you saw drivers like Wooly, MVP, and Cam make it up to the top 5, top 3, and even winning the race now. So we'll get to interviews with the top 3 right now. We want to make sure that all the top 3 have their mics on and are included. So make sure that you've hit the button in the Xbox party. We'll start with D-Dog when he is ready. Just let me know when you're ready, D-Dog.
Gotcha, man.
Yep. Though you are a little quiet, so we will make sure we can turn you up a little bit. Give me just 2 seconds here.
You got me on?
Yep, perfect. Top 3 today, D-Dog. Obviously, part-time racer this season. That must feel pretty good for you. What are your thoughts on it?
That was a really decent race. I knew I could come out here and do well. Got a lot of experience at this track and GT cars and whatnot. Very first league race, I guess you could say, with the Cup cars, so it was really interesting to come out and do that. Been pretty solid, top 5 most of the race. Obviously, at the beginning, I didn't qualify, so I had to start at the very back. Made it through all the mayhem, including some drivers that probably should not be in this league. Through all the chaos through that and made it up to the front. And after this kind of middle of the race, I was just up to the front there. I had a good race with the other guys up here, so looking forward to more road courses this season.
And I mean, yeah, you started at the back, you made your way through the front. What do you think the key moment was for you during that race to make it up to the top 3 and actually have a good showing with the car? Obviously, first time for everyone here officially racing in the XRS series. So what do you think the defining moment really was in that race?
I mean, I don't really feel like there was a defining moment. Just really getting into the rhythm after the middle cautions of the race, if you will. Kind of learning what my pitch strat should be from there. Because, of course, I had no practice, no qualifying even, just kind of going off the rip with this car. So once I kind of got my rhythm, it was just kind of set from there. I knew I probably wasn't going to be one of the top 2 or 3 guys originally. Obviously, we had some really good guys kind of take the lead at the end of the race there. But just kept my head down, kept working with it, and here we are.
Well, a great showing by D-Dog today, securing third place, obviously on a part-time basis this season. So that means a driver that's on a full-time basis, which would be fourth place, will lose out on that one playoff point. Congratulations on the third place tonight, D-Dog. Great showing by you and everyone tonight.
Thanks, sir.
We now move on to second place, Hawk, who with this week's second place will continue his top three streak. That's one top three for throughout every race this season, but unfortunately he does break the third place streak, but does gain a position in second place for it. Hawk, great showing tonight. You battled very hard throughout the entire race. Probably had to face the most bad luck. What do you feel about it?
Yeah. Just ran. It's terrible. Got turned every time when I was in the front pack. Um, Felt like I don't know. I can't really think, but yeah, then became patient. And times where it pissed me off, but it's great to keep my consistency up. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, consistency has definitely been your friend this season with three top threes so far in the first three races. That means at least you have with two third places and now a second place, you should now have close to about 4 playoff points before most people even have one. So, I mean, that has to feel good for you, at least in partial, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, with the format allowing a potential ninth driver, you've been so close to winning every week, week in and week out. You've obviously two third places, now a second place. When do you think you're going to get that first win this season?
That's a tough one, especially with these fast guys. But sooner or later, probably get lucky. Hopefully.
I mean, I'm sure everyone hopes. I mean, but you've been definitely the most consistent of the field. I think everyone can say by far. So I think the time should definitely be coming soon for you. But obviously, you had a couple few issues on track. More specifically with the 48 car, or earlier on in the race. How did you sort of bounce back from that?
Um, just kept my cool sometimes and try to avoid people's messes and yeah, try to be fast and everything. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the key today, sort of trying to make the least amount of mistakes, either in other people's mistakes or your own mistakes, and I definitely think you did a really good job of that today. Hawk with second place tonight continues his top three streak for the third week in a row in the 3 weeks that the 2021 season has started. Congratulations on the second place, Hawk.
thank you.
Now we move on to the race winner, first-time winner, and the only rookie so far to win this season, MVP with the first place. MVP, how does it feel?
Very unexpected because I wasn't expecting Vanquish uh to net when he did.
I don't
But
think. Go ahead.
uh, what, in his own words, a strategic disconnect. But hey, I was consistent most of the race, and yeah, I'll take the win, I guess.
I mean, a win's a win, I think, in everyone's eyes. Obviously, you were second place for most of the race, if not first place for most of the race. I mean, how did you keep up the speed and battling against, obviously, these two behind you, and even the likes of Culture or Vanquish?
And it just depends, making sure I was hitting my lines and all that. Uh, there was definitely people who were struggling on doing that, as I will not specify his name. But uh, all in all, I just made sure I hit my lines, hit every apex I needed to hit, and that's how I was able to maintain speed.
And I mean, obviously, the first time XRS has come to this track, So what I mean, obviously winning the race. What do you think the keys to this track and really just being consistent are? Obviously, you commented on keeping your line about the same every lap. So what do you think more keys are, or more things people should be doing to be successful and fast at this racetrack?
At this racetrack, it really depends. There's a lot of people who just don't have that sense of patience when they try to get back on the gas, and that's what kills a lot of people. Just moment you spin your tires, you're just losing time.
Obviously, this race we've seen a lot of rookies do fairly well in this race. Obviously, we had Wooly, and we had Cam, who all were at least in the top five at one point of the race, if not top three. Obviously, you winning this race. Do you think this race may have been more oriented to the rookies since they haven't really tested with any past tunes, or do you think it was just really all the rookies really knew the track fairly well?
Could be a mixture of both because I know there were some people who had like no experience to the track. At least this version of the track.
Well, that's first place. That's first place in the winner of this race, MVP today. The first rookie to win in the season, his first win in XRS and on the season itself. Congratulations tonight, MVP, and good luck in future races to come.
Thank you.
Well, that about wrap it up for tonight's broadcast of Race 3 of the 2021 XRS season at Brands Hatch Indy at the Indy course. It's been an exciting race. We had only 5 cautions tonight, most of which led to more exciting racing, and a great race overall tonight. A new winner is crowned tonight, a rookie, as well as the points are shaken up dramatically. Points will probably be posted later this week, so stay tuned for that. As always, have a great night, and as always, we hope you